shall cause
darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to a brand new episode of RoundUp, where we bring you the latest news, stories and headlines from all around the world.
We're so glad you could join us today, and we've got an exciting lineup waiting for you.
Our teams have been working tirelessly to bring you coverage from all around the world. Here's what's coming up in today's episode.
We start in the United States, where Americans have voted in a historic election. Then we head to Indonesia for another tasty cuisine. And finally, we head back to the USA to look at their Atfal Ijtema.
To get started, let's check out the headlines. Hassan is here to catch us up on the latest news and trending stories from around the world. Assalamu alaikum, Hassan. How are you doing today?
Wa alaikum salam, Nasser and Ghani bhai. I'm doing well, Jazakallah. Let's take a look at this week's top stories. Donald Trump has been elected President of the United States once again, making a dramatic return to power after a highly contested race. With key battleground states determining the outcome, Trump's victory comes as part of a tightly fought election. His win sparks a range of reactions, with supporters praising his promises to restore America's strength, while critics raise concerns about his policies and approach. We'll have more on the election from our team in the US. Moving on, the Australian government is set to introduce a groundbreaking law to ban social media for kids under 16. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the legislation is designed to protect kids from online harm. The law, which could pass next week, would hold social media platforms responsible for age verification, with Australia's e-safety commissioner enforcing it. Experts are divided. Some say banning could protect young people, whilst others argue it delays their ability to learn safe online habits. The debate continues as Australia pushes for stricter online safety standards. A new study reveals that human-caused climate change made the 10 deadliest weather events in the last 20 years more intense and more likely. These events, storms, heat waves and floods, have taken over 570,000 lives across Europe, Africa and Asia. The research, led by scientists from the World Weather Attribution Group, highlights events like the 2011 Somalia drought, which killed 250,000 people, and the European heatwaves of 2022 and 2023, which together claimed nearly 90,000 lives. Researchers warn that without major cuts to fossil fuels, the risks of extreme weather will keep rising. Those were the headlines for this week. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah, Hassan. It's always good to stay informed on what's happening.
Definitely, Ghani. And that's what we're here for, to keep our wonderful viewers up to date. So with that said, let's dive into our first segment and a very hot topic around the globe. The USA elections.
Yeah. Early in the week, Donald Trump declared a victory in the 2024 US presidential elections, marking a historic comeback. Let's head over to the USA, where our team gives us the update.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And today we're going to be talking about the 2024 presidential elections. It's like a giant contest where the winner gets to lead the country. Yeah, the whole entire country. So now let's dive into it. And we're going to see why it's so important and what it's all about. This year, there's two leading candidates, each with ideas improving things like schools, jobs, safety, healthcare, and climate. One side, the candidate from the Republican Party is Mr. Donald Trump. On the other side, candidate from the Democratic side is Vice President Kamala Harris. Alright, so now let's see what affects how different people vote. Maybe they're thinking about what the candidate thinks about their jobs, or healthcare, or the climate. And some even think about the person's character. Are they honest? Are they kind? Do they think about jobs and other things? People weigh all of these things before making their choice of voting. In the United States, voting isn't just counting heads. It's based on a point system called the Electoral College. Each state has a set number of points, and whoever wins the most points overall becomes president. Alright, now we're going to talk with the teacher and chat with the community organizer to get quick information on what makes these elections interesting and why we should care.
Depending on where you are, in general, elections can run slightly differently. When they start for early voting, when they end, but we're a representative democracy. So it's a representative democracy, one person, one vote.
but then we also have what's called the Electoral College, which is a group of people who are elected to represent all of us as individuals. So we could have, which makes it a little hard to understand in the United States, we can have someone that wins the popular vote and doesn't become president because they've won the 270 electoral votes through the Electoral College.
Significance of a presidential race is you're picking someone who is there both as a leader, heavily involved in leading the process by which positions are taken by an elected representative government on behalf of the people. And you're also looking at somebody that's able to represent the country on an international stage.
So I think that the world is very interested in our elections because we have such a big impact internationally, both economically and of course culturally.
As the results are finalized, Americans have extremely mixed feelings.
And individuals need to be able to express their views. Personally, I think voting is very important from a values perspective, and there are certain inimitable values in this country, such as honesty, integrity, protection of children. So to me, that's why it's very important for you to get out and vote.
I voted for Kamala Harris because I would love to see a woman in office, and it's very important for us young folks to get out because this is our future. Even if you don't feel like it's affecting you now, it's going to affect you 10 years from now.
This was an extremely tight election race, but in the end, Mr. Donald Trump was victorious with nearly 74 million votes and over 295 electoral votes, while Kamala Harris received 70 million votes and 226 electoral votes. Remember, in Islam, voting is a sacred duty. In the Holy Quran states we should elect those who are best fit to lead and best for the entire society. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
That was very informative. It'll be interesting to see how things unfold as a new president takes office.
For sure. Now, let's shift gears to this week's Friday sermon and take a closer look at some of the key points.
And Rohel and Ursman will break down the highlights for us in our weekly Friday sermon discussion. Let's join them now.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to this week's Friday sermon discussion. Today, beloved Hazur Ahidullah Ta'ala bin Nasir al-Aziz emphasized the significance of selfless financial sacrifices within our community.
Hazur Ayyud Ta'ala bin Nasir al-Aziz began by reciting a verse from the Holy Quran which speaks about those who give by night and day, secretly and openly. This reflects how Ahmadis, both openly and in secret, give for Allah's pleasure, not for recognition. Hazur praises the quality of our community, saying Ahmadis give without worrying, even when times are hard.
Absolutely, Arshman. Hazur shared that even in wealthier nations, many Ahmadis lead simpler lives to make more substantial contributions, while in poorer nations, people contribute generously in relation to their means. These sacrifices show how Ahmadis prioritize faith over worldly gains.
Beloved Hazur shared inspiring examples of such sacrifices. He mentioned a man in Tanzania who noticed that after making regular sacrifices, his business began to thrive. He saw blessings in both his income and stock sales. Another story was a former military member from Kazakhstan who prioritized financial contributions from his pension. He shared that whenever he offers sacrifice, his own needs seem to be met miraculously.
These examples really remind us that it's not the amount, but the sincerity that matters. Hazur Ahidullah Ta'ala bin Nasir al-Aziz highlighted the teaching of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that even a single dirham, if given with sincerity, can hold greater value than much larger sums. This is a powerful message about giving with the right intentions.
And Hazur also announced the beginning of the 91st year of Tariq Jadid. Despite global financial difficulties, last year Ahmadis worldwide contributed nearly £18 million to this cause. Countries like Germany, the UK and the USA lead in the contributions, showing the unwavering commitment of our community even during challenging times.
Yes, and Hazur Ahidullah Ta'ala bin Nasir al-Aziz prayed that Ahmadis not only increase in financial contributions, but also strengthen their spiritual relationship with Allah. He said that as long as we continue the spirit of sacrifice, Allah will continue to bless us and protect us.
Jazakallah everyone for joining us in this discussion. Let's make an effort to listen to the full Friday sermon so we can benefit fully from Hazur's guidance and blessings. Until next time,
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Rahila and Ushman for those insightful points. It's nice to have these discussions.
I agree, but we can only discuss once we've watched the full Friday sermon. So definitely catch up on that on any MTA platform if you missed it.
That's right. Up next, we're traveling to Indonesia to check out Serabi, a traditional Indonesian snack. And our team has all the details on how it's made and why everyone loves it. Let's head on over.
Assalamualaikum teman-teman. Saya lagi makan pancake-nya Indonesia nih. Hah? Emang Indonesia punya pancake ya? Tentu saja punya dong. Seperti yang lagi saya makan ini, yaitu surabi. Surabi Bandung atau yang dikenal sebagai surabi dalam bahasa Sunda adalah jajanan tradisional yang populer di Jawa Barat, khususnya di Bandung. Rasanya yang gurih dan manis serta teksturnya yang lembut membuat serabi digemari banyak orang. Makanan ini sudah dikenal sejak tahun 1920-an. Serabi memang terinspirasi dari pancake yang dibawa oleh bangsa Belanda pada masa penjajahan dulu. Serabi Bandung terbuat dari tepung beras, santan, gula, dan garam. Dari campuran ini akan menghasilkan tekstur yang lembut dan rasa yang gurih. Surabi ini dimasak menggunakan tungku tanah liat sehingga menghasilkan aroma dan rasa yang khas. Dan surabi biasanya disajikan dengan berbagai topping seperti oncom, kinca, atau saus gula merah, keju, dan coklat. Itu dia pancake-nya Indonesia, yaitu serabi. Teman-teman tertarik mencoba tidak? Saya saja sampai ketagihan begini. Saya makan dulu ya teman-teman. Bismillahi wala barakatillah. Amin.
That looked so good. I'm tempted to try making it for myself just to get a taste.
Well, Nasser, you'll have to make enough to share because I'm craving some too.
Don't worry, I definitely will.
Thank you. Now we're heading back to the US for the Atfal Ijtema. These are such blessed gatherings and can be very memorable for young Atfal. Do you still remember your Atfal Ijtemas, Nasser?
Of course I do. I remember it like it was just yesterday.
Well, with all the activities, sports and talks, it was both fun and inspiring. Let's see what the Atfal in the US got up to at their Ijtema.
हम अहमदी बच्चे हैं कुछ करके दिखा देंगे शैतान की हुकूमत को दुनिया से मिटा देंगे.
Welcome to the Atfal National Ijtema USA. This year's Ijtema is packed with exciting activities, both educational and fun. Let me show you around.
जो बात हकीकत है दुनिया
मजलिस खुदामुल अहमदिया USA मजलिस अतफाल अहमदिया USA.
By Allah's grace, the National Ijtema for Khuddam and Atfal commenced with a flag hoisting and the opening session, presided by a special representative of beloved Hazur to our Ijtema, Amir Safir Sahib.
From academic competitions to sports and the Atfal Fair, the Ijtema is truly the highlight of our year. Let's hear from some of our brothers about their experiences.
I did the English speech. That was really good. My topic was the importance of the Atfal Pledge.
Sports competitions also brought out the best spirit of competition amongst the Atfal representing their local regions. And a special Atfal fair was also set up that was full of fun activities.
Alhamdulillah, the Atfal Fair was very fun. It was a variety of games and fun sports. Alhamdulillah, I participated in the three-legged race and also the bouncy houses. Alhamdulillah, I won both of those by the grace of Allah.
My Ijtema was great. I thought the Atfal Fair was a lot better than the past few years. The MKA Hub was really cool, and I learned a lot about brotherhood and how Hazur cares for all of the Ahmadiyya.
I think it was very good. I think the MKA Hub was a big hit, and the Atfal store. I think we both did tremendously well. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun, playing basketball or listening to the many speeches.
Alhamdulillah, my Ijtema was very awesome. Amir Safir Sahib, a representative of Hazur, I listened to his speech and the importance of namaz, the 5 daily prayers and everything. I also listened to Abdullah Diba, Sadr Sahib Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, and I also learned a lot.
Alhamdulillah, I'm grateful to be here with so many Atfal, learning, growing, and enjoying this special time together. This is Imran Ahmad reporting from USA.
कुछ करके दिखा देंगे शैतान की हुकूमत को दुनिया से मिटा देंगे.
What an amazing event. It's heartwarming to see the young Atfal engaging and connecting with one another with a sense of brotherhood.
Yes, and preparing to become faithful and dedicated Khuddam in the near future. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for in today's episode. But not to worry, as we'll have another episode next week with even more exciting reports from all around the world.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out our social media where we'll have even more behind-the-scenes content and updates on future episodes. But for now, that's all we have for you. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth.